Soy yo. Hola, soy yo, Vicky, otra vez. Welcome to Learn Spanish with Vicky. ¿Cómo estáis todos? Espero todo bien. Thank you for coming back and watching a video, or maybe this is the first time, so welcome if so. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to look at a conversation practice using ER verbs, a second conjugation, verbs that end in ER. So we're going to look at some questions and answers. So I'm going to give you the questions in English first, so you can have a go at putting them together. And then I'm going to tell you what the questions are in Spanish and answer them in Spanish for me. So you might want to have a go at making your own answers as well. As I always say, if you have anything that you're not sure of or you'd like to clear up or clarify, explain, please let me know and I will reply to any emails, or you can always contact me on Facebook or Twitter also, and in Instagram. So any queries, any questions, you can always contact me on there. If you do have the Break the Language Break the Language Barrier Level 1 book, this exercise, this conversation practice exercise that I'm going to go through today is on page 38. You don't need the book to follow the video, but it's just that some people do have the book and they like to follow it going along with the appropriate page number. If you do want to buy the book, you can buy it on any Amazon site. Break the Language Barrier, this is level 1. Learn Spanish through a language you understand, because all explanations are in English, by Vicki Riley. And there are 4 levels, so there are higher levels also that I will be going through bit by bit with these YouTube videos. So yeah, available on any Amazon site or through the website. Anyway, as I say, you don't actually need the book to follow the video. I'm going to read out the question first in English and then say it in Spanish and then answer it in Spanish. So you can follow that as you go along, have a go at putting the question together yourself and have a go at making your own answers. So, number 1 in practice C it is. Number 1, what do you see from your bedroom window? So, in Spanish you would say, ¿Qué ves de la ventana de tu dormitorio? So you would say, what do you see from the window of your bedroom, not from your bedroom window. The order would be different. ¿Qué ves de la ventana de tu dormitorio? And I would answer, veo, I see, la calle. ¿Vale? Número 2. Why must you study Spanish? So this is that verb deber, which we use when we want to say must. So, why it is, not what. ¿Por qué debes? Why must you? And then we don't need to conjugate the next verb because we've already conjugated deber. ¿Por qué debes estudiar español? Why must you study Spanish? So I would say, debo, I must, estudiar español porque vivo en España, por ejemplo. Y número 3, do you understand Spanish verbs? So the verb to understand, the only one that we've done so far as this course is concerned, we're going to be using comprender because we haven't got as far as entender yet. That comes up with the diphthongs or the stem changing verbs a bit later on. So, ¿comprendes? Do you understand los verbos españoles? And I would say, sí, comprendo muy bien los verbos españoles. And then número 4, ¿qué bebes en un restaurante? And I would say, so that is what do you drink in a restaurant? The verb to drink is beber. So, ¿qué bebes en un restaurante? And I would say, bebo normalmente vino rosado. Y número 5, do you believe in ghosts? Well, the verb to believe is creer. Creer can mean to think or believe. And that's the one we'd use here. So, ¿crees en fantasmas? Or los fantasmas? So, fantasmas, ghosts, is actually masculine even though it ends in an A. So it's one of those exceptions. ¿Crees en fantasmas? And I would say, sí, creo en fantasmas. Número 6, are you selling your house? The verb to sell is vender. So we would say, ¿vendes tu casa? And I would say, no, no vendo mi casa. And then number 7, do you break many things? I would, the verb to break is romper. So you would say, rompes muchas cosas. And I would say, sí, rompo muchas cosas. Especialmente vasos, especially glasses. Y número 8, do you read many books? The verb to read is leer, so you would say, ¿lees muchos libros? And I would say, no, no leo muchos libros. Número 9, where do you normally have lunch on Sundays? Well, the verb to have lunch in Spain is comer, the same as the verb to eat. If you go to South America, they will use the verb almorzar. So if you're in Spain, you would say, ¿Dónde comes normalmente los domingos? But if you're in South America, you might say, ¿Dónde normalmente almuerzas los domingos? Which is an irregular verb, almorzar, which, as I say, we haven't got up to those yet. But anyway, if you're in Spain, use comer. Do you eat a lot of vegetables? Comes muchas verduras. So verduras are feminine, so we would say muchas. And I would say, actually, I don't think I've answered number 9. So number 9, I would say, como normalmente en un restaurante los domingos. And then, do you eat a lot of vegetables? I would say, sí, como muchas verduras. Número 11, when do you drink alcohol in the house? So, cuando bebes alcohol en la casa? And I would say, bebo alcohol en la casa los sábados, por ejemplo. Y número 12, when do you run? So that is cuando corres. And I would say, nunca corro. Y número 13, why do you learn Spanish? Porque aprendes español. And I would say, aprendo español porque vivo en España. Y número 14, why must you drink water in the summer? Porque debes, so it's that deber, must again. Porque debes, and then followed by the infinitive, beber agua en el verano. So, porque debes beber agua en verano or en el verano? And I would say, debo beber agua en verano porque hace mucho calor. Now, This verb hacer, again, that will come up later when we start looking at irregular verbs. Hacer is the verb that means to do or make, and it is actually H-A-C-E-R. And when we say hace mucho calor, there is a H there, but of course H isn't pronounced, so we don't pronounce it. And in Spain, or in Spanish, that's how you talk about the weather. Use the verb to do or make. You don't say it is hot, you say it makes a lot of heat. So that's why I said debo beber agua en el verano, porque hace mucho calor. So that is to be, it translates to because it is very hot, but literally it translates to it makes a lot of heat. So this hacer verb we would use anytime we were talking about the weather. If you're saying, oh, it's very cold, you say hace mucho frío. It's very sunny, hace mucho sol. So be aware we don't use either of the verbs to talk about the weather in Spanish. Okay, so that is the conversation practice. So it's always a good idea. Notice that when we're making the questions, they were all asking you, second person singular. So the endings were all the you endings, es, for er verbs, yeah? Que ves, porque debes, comprendes. So all ending in es when we're asking the question, because that's the you form. But when we were answering the question, we put on the o ending because it's I. So veo, I see. Debo, I must. Creo, I believe. So we don't need to say yo, because the ending on the verb, the o ending on the verb, tells us everything we need to know in Spanish. We don't need to use the person except for emphasis. So that will come up again and again as we do questions and answers. Muy bien, ya está. So hope you found this useful. If you have found it useful, please give it a thumbs up down below. And if you want to be immediately updated of new videos coming out, please press the subscribe button. Vale, muchas gracias. Hasta la próxima. Hasta luego.